Hello there. This is Dr. Ted Coffman coming to you from the Crystal Star Ranch high in the Rocky Mountains. Thanks for joining us today. You're joining us with one of my favorite topics out of the book We. This is the section called Western. Yeah, finally, we got here. The waltz across Texas is lovely, but it is accompanied by heat, thunderstorms, drought, winds, stickers, and ornery steers. The Indian wedding vase derives its value not from its intrinsic worth, but rather from its symbolic meanings. Young bull riders have still to learn the wisdom of serious fear. When you can go swiftly from a soft, gentle cowboy lullaby to soothe the herd, to a high-speed, thunderbolt-sparked, rampaging stampede, and keep your wits, you have mastered the cowboy way. A country lane on a starlit night, and you, the trifecta. Young men ride bulls because they think they know it all. Older men don't ride bulls because they do know it all. A high country cow camp, the rustle of fall leaves, the smell of the campfire, and you. A trifecta plus one. A background of dark, silent, moon-splashed shadows across the trail. The clip-clop of a cow pony's shoes on the mountain stones. The steady squeak of an old Shipley saddle. And crickets. A midnight serenade. Country music. 3 chords and a refrain to a better life. A stripped saddle blanket, a discarded blouse, and a bright moonlit night. 3 aces. The truth is like the wind in Texas. You can ignore it for a while, but in the end, there it is. I want to live this life full throttle, just in case we don't get a second buck out. Crickets, bullfrogs, horses' hooves on a rocky trail, and the rushing rapids defines a mountain serenade. There's nothing quite like the feel of a green broke colt stiffening below the bucking rigging just before he lets go for the ride of your life. Just because that mean Angus bull is big doesn't mean he's slow. There is nothing better for the inner sanctum of a troubled mind than the outside of a good horse. A tool left in the toolbox can do no work, and we each have been blessed with all the tools we need to build a happy, healthy, loving, successful life. It's in the toolbox. Faith, courage, non-judgment, perseverance, joy, curiosity, imagination, love, the power of making good choices. Find the tool you need and use it. You are the reason for country music for me. I see you in every lyric. An old favorite country western tune is like your beloved recliner. Both are just really comfortable. I used to stand hip deep in the Crystal River and let the wilderness fall over me like the rain. The river washed my skin. The wilderness refreshed my soul. Mother Nature filled my boots. Life on the Crystal Star Ranch. Thoreau's Walden Pond for cowboys. The cowboy poet is to the cowboy's life what the painter is to the cowboy's bright yellow slicker. On horseback, one can experience more of the world in 1 mile than in 100 miles by any other transportation. A good country western song is a snapshot of our past. A howdy ma'am is a small bend in the front left brim of a cowboy hat, so the cowboy has a place to put his index finger and thumb when he meets a lady. No joke. It is also what the cowboy says when he greets, smiles, and tips his hat at her. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why cowboys are still king. Howdy, ma'am. My horse's chin draped over and resting on my shoulder is an image and a feel I shall never forget. Do old cowboys wear boxers or briefs? Depends. A good cowboy is more than the sum total of what's between his hat and his boots. Friends are workhorses harnessed in the same riggings. Pine trees are antennas bringing a forest of universal love into a cowboy's heart. It's good for the horse, the cowgirl, and the wag of an old dog's tail. Forever just doesn't feel burdensome as long as you are in the saddle next to mine. I got 2 bucking and 1 in the chute. A bull rider's answer to a reporter's question about how many kids he had. Texas Floyd told me when I was a kid down on the ranch, don't climb on anything that ain't broke. Gold buckle, 32 seconds. 4 to 8 rides on a woolly beast. 4 arena crashes, the price of a mutton buster champion. Congratulations, Shandon. Fireflies, twinkling stars, an autumn moon on your skin, and the love in your eyes. A Midwestern light show. Your heart beating next to mine is like a rickety old wooden wagon carrying fragile nitroglycerin on a bumpy, rocky downhill trail. Dangerous stuff. Success is being able to stand at the edge of the campfire facing out into the chilly night air and shouting yes and meaning it in spite of your weaknesses, inadequacies, insecurities, and faults. Tell me you want the moon, and I'll rope it for you and pull it down for your flower basket. The Indian paintbrush bush beside the trail is a reminder of the closeness of the indigenous people to Mother Nature. And now one of the favorite poems I ever wrote. It's called Pardners. He sits upon his saddle like a sack of crumpled feed. He just rode through the switchback and broke back tumbleweeds. His old dog walks beside him, his tongue a-hanging out, a-waiting for his cowboy friend to take his kerchief out. The old-timer's got a problem of sleeping when he rides, but that old dog, a-trailin' long, is always by his side. Together they have traveled over many western miles. They shared a lot of hard times and just as many smiles. He steps down to pour some water from his ragged old canteen into his little tin cup for the dog who's lost his sheen. He lights up one more cigarette before they're on their way. They've got a lot of work to do before the close of day. A fence to mend, a bull to find, a water tank to fix. The heat of this old summer day can leave you feeling sick. But they ride the trail together. Neither one of them complains of all the rugged prairie past, of all their piercing pain. As they glide into the sunset and dust kicks off the trail, and you see the smile on the cowboy's face and the wag of the old dog's tail. This one is Anna Marie. Anna Marie was 16 years old. She lived all alone with her folks. Her dad was a rancher. Her mom was a teacher. Their ranch was just north of Grand Oaks. She wanted a horse she had for so long, but the bills were so high for her dad that Anna did wait till the mare she did foal, and the news that she got was real bad. She wanted a horse that was strong and could run, one that was true to the course. But this one was weak and not very tall. White Blaze was the face of this horse. The colt was real short and abnormally thin. She knew this would be some real work. The girl herself was no bigger than a minute, but she'd spent some time working dirt. Anna had dreamed of running the barrels. It had always been close to her heart. Her will was real strong, but the horse was real small, so she knew that they needed to start. She tried to name him, but a name wouldn't come, so she left it alone for a while. She asked her dad if he'd build her a trench. When he finished, she gave him a smile. She filled it with water and submerged that young colt. He didn't really like it at first, but she stayed right with it, and day after day, the horse developed a thirst to do it her way, whatever it took. This horse would lean into the work. She ponied him up a high mountain trail the little horse never once shirked. He swam and he swam till his muscles all ached, but he never shied away from the task. He seemed well determined to do all he could, whatever his Anna would ask. Higher they would go on the trail every day until he got really strong. The day finally came when she saddled him up. It was new, but he went right along. 2 laps around the round pen, the two of them walked. Then she put her foot in the stirrup. Right from the start, that horse liked it lots. He had that barrel racing spirit. They'd train in the arena and work in the pool until the horse got a lot stronger, and then it was time to put him on course. She just couldn't wait any longer. They ran that barrel course, both left and then right. He could run just as fast either way. To most folks, it looked like she worked him too hard, but to them, it just felt like play. She pushed him and pushed him from the start to the finish, getting tighter to that barrel each day. The horse and the girl worked that hard together, each trying to find their own way. They asked the girl, "What's the name of your horse?" "I just haven't named my horse yet." The way he launched so quick on the course, the horse flew just like a jet. They trained and they worked and they worked and they trained the best they could every day. The sound of his hooves, the squeak of the leather, the girl in the saddle would sway like a dancer on stage, like a raging fast river. The girl and the horse, they would go until it came time to take up their own stage. They signed up for their first rodeo. The announcer announced each entry in order. As each girl and their horse took their turn, Anna and her steed were next up in the chutes. It was then the whole crowd would learn. The cowgirl and horse, they had become one. No longer would anyone wonder. The announcer announced the next pair that was up was Anna and her Rolling Thunder. The story could end. I could leave it right there. It would do the reader no harm, but it might serve us best the rest of the story. Anna had been born with one arm. When she first saw her horse, he looked handicapped, but she knew that was just in her mind. She knew in her heart, with love and hard work, she and her little horse could find that working together, staying true to the course, having just one worthy goal, that the horse and the cowgirl alone could discover the magic of each other's soul. That day they showed the whole world together that we too all find our way. Anna Marie and her Rolling Thunder, they won the gold buckle that day. And so we remember the strength and the courage that brought those two champions along. It's not only the center of their legacy, it's now the theme of our song. We each have our strengths and our weaknesses too. It runs deep through each one of us. But with work and with courage, we each can succeed without too much bother or fuss. Champions are heroes. It's always been that way. It probably will never change. But that's the way of this horse and this cowgirl, not so far away out on the range. We're going to leave it with that, folks. We thank you for coming in and spending a little cowboy time with us on the ranch today. We hope you had a good time, and we hope you'll come back. If you can, take a moment to punch that like and that subscribe button. It costs nothing, and it helps us, so we really appreciate it. We thank you. We appreciate you for being with us. Know there's someone out here who truly loves you, even though we haven't met yet. Until then, happy trails, and it's time for us to go feed and water the horses. Have a great day.